Alright, today we're going to be using color pencils or crayons to create value to make our op art drawing look 3D. Either of these versions will look like a great op art masterpiece. Let's get started. You only need 2 or 4 colors for this project. We're going to use one color at a time, so you're going to start with your first color and concentrate again on one triangle. We're going to be starting at the center and coloring every other space in that particular triangle. We're going to get a little bit closer so you can see exactly how to use value to color, starting with that first triangle. So on the very sides, this is the only time you're actually going to copy the line, coloring up and down, and you're going to color pretty hard to make it a darker value. Then for the rest of that space, you're going to color horizontally, so left to right. And you're going to be using different types of pressure. So we use the hardest pressure on the outside and copy the same amount of pressure on both sides. Next, you're going to loosen your grip a little bit and color in a little bit more. So it's still a hard pressure, but not as hard as it was on the very outside. Repeat the same pressure on the opposite side. You're going to repeat this step over and over again until you get to the center. So after you do both sides, you're going to loosen your grip again. So you're coloring a little bit lighter again towards the middle on both sides until you get to the very center. Make sure for the center you use the lightest amount of pressure, super soft, so that way it looks like it's shining. We're going to skip the next section and do every other part of the triangle. Start with the hard pressure, going up and down. Remember, this is the only time you're coloring vertically up and down because it helps you stay in the line, so that is super hard on both sides. Then all of the rest of your coloring, you're going to color horizontal, so going in towards the middle of your shape, starting with the hardest pressure on both sides, then medium, and lighter and lighter and lighter until you get to the very center. Always make sure your center is the very lightest, and you can always go back and blend a little bit of dark on each side. So again, you're going to skip and do the next section down and just keep repeating the same steps. Super hard on the sides going up and down, and the rest are horizontal lines, so going inward from darkest to lightest to create the value so it looks like it's warping. Continue this process for the rest of your triangle, skipping shapes in between. Alright, we're going to continue this process, but we're going to skip the triangle that's directly next to the one we just colored. So the next one should have the same type of line that it had on the first one. So I've been working with convex lines, so this one is my next convex one. I'm going to start at the center again with the same process. Hardest pressure first on both sides going up and down, and gradually changing the pressure to be lighter towards the inside. Continue to turn your page, skip the next triangle, so that way you're coloring in every other one, starting at the center with the same process. And I'll see you back here for the next color. Great job with color number 1. Now we're going to get ready with color number 2. We're going to be working on the empty triangles, and we're actually be working on the opposite space. So not the first space, but the second space, and coloring every other one. So that way they're next to the empty spaces on the original one that you made. So make sure you start on the second one. I know you're going to be in the habit of the first one, but you're going to be coloring it in the same exact way. Darkest lines on the outside, color the rest horizontally, starting with your hardest pressure on both sides, then lighter and lighter and lighter until you get to the center. Continue to skip a space and repeat this process for the rest of this triangle. Continue to repeat these steps for the next empty triangle. So turn your paper to work on the next empty triangle. And remember, you're not starting at the first one, you're starting at that second one. So look for those empty lines next to you and continue to add value by using the hardest to lightest pressure. Yay! You did it! I absolutely love the way these look. This is one of my favorite projects. I know my students love this project too, so I'm so happy I get to share this project with you. This is considered a completed project, but if you want to go above and beyond, you can totally color in the rest of your picture to look like this. And I'm going to show you how in the rest of this video. First, decide what 2 colors you want to add for the rest of your picture. Start with your first color and repeat the same steps. So pick one color to match up with your original color, repeating the same steps of creating value, darkest on the outside, lightest on the inside for each one. Great job, this is starting to look really awesome. Use your last color for the remainder of the spaces. Awesome job! I cannot wait to see your final op art project. This is one of my favorites and I can't wait to see yours.